Okay, so you guys had this for homework. I believe we started, I left this page blank, yes, for the shed? Okay, so I would like to know, what is the perimeter of my shed? 40 feet. Excellent. Because the shed is 12 by 8. Perimeter goes around the outside. So there's another 12 and another 8. 20 and then another 20 to make 40. Everybody cool?
Yes.
Excellent. Now, this is where people started screwing up. The shed covers 1/3 of my backyard. There's my yard, right? 1/3 of it is shed. Agreed? So this over here is my grass, yes? Okay. So how much area is the shed? Does the 40 matter at all? No. Because the shed is 8 by 12, which means it's 96. Right? So if that's 96, what's this third? 96. What's this third? 96. So how much grass is there? 192. Everybody understand? Excellent. Now, the sod is 1 foot by 5 foot. How much space will the sod, each roll of sod cover? When I unroll the sod, I will make a green rectangle that is how big? 1 foot by 5 foot. Yes? I need to cover 192 feet. So what math do I need to do? Divided by 5. And what do I get when I do that math? I get a weird number. I get 38.4. So how many rolls of sod do I need to buy? 39. But why? That doesn't round up.
Because you can't buy half 1.4 roll of sod.
If I buy only 38 rolls of sod, I'm going to be left with a little bit here that has no grass on it. Now, if you were in my backyard, you would know I couldn't care less because my backyard is disgusting. Unlike the TV shows where people go and walk away from a perfect house because the backyard isn't right. I don't know if your parents watch those shows, but my wife watches those shows all the time. And it makes me want to climb through the TV and grab these people and clock their heads together like coconuts. This house is perfect, but I hate the backyard. Oh my God, you don't live in your backyard. You live in the house. Especially when they're in a place like Omaha, where 8 months of the year it's freezing cold anyway, and you wouldn't be in your backyard.
Love it or list it.
Can't stand Love It or List It.
The shows are so that's not love it or list it.
The reason I don't like them, though, is because they keep trying to make it dramatic, and the people that are selling the houses aren't actors, and they're so bad at reading the script.
Now, a quality piece of television was In My Ride. Until everybody found out that it was fake, and it made me sad. It was fake? Yeah.
All those shows are fake. A friend of mine had one of those people come into their house, and you know how the camera shows a part of the wall? That's what they fix. Anything that the camera can't see, they don't touch. You pay for that. Yes. And my wife's house that she grew up in Vancouver was on Love It or List It.
Really?
They sold it in 1990, and the current owner just had it on Love It or List It. My wife was watching the show. She's like, I think this is my house. Shut up. It is. Shut up. That's my house. And then she gets a call from her brother later on. Did you see our house? It was on Love It or List It. True story.
She loved it or list it.
No, he was driving through the neighborhood and saw them filming it.
Oh, okay.
So he went and took the tour.
Yeah, I was watching.
Aiden.
I don't remember what show it was, but my cousin's house was on one of those. Yet they're still living in it, and they've never had any
Revenue.
reservations.
Or reservations. They were happy with it?
Yeah, and it was on one of the shows.
Yeah.
No one's ever came by or done anything to it.
Interesting.
I think
They
they
were really confused about.
So 39 rolls. So then it's 39 times $275, and it was like $107 or something. Everybody cool? Sweet. Okay, now I asked you to do page 20, 21, and 22. I'm just going to show you the right answers, and if you need to, you can ask me. Here they are, highlighted in blue. My favorite blue color of highlighter on this. There's the first one. Everybody okay with it? Anybody need to ask anything about it? I hope you don't, because you're smart kids. TJ, all the math we do is easy. But the problem with you guys is when we start at the easy stuff, you don't really pay attention. Oh, this is so easy, I got this. And then we move on to take the easy stuff and actually apply it to something more difficult, and then you're like, You don't make that face very often, TJ.
What face?
Darn.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
He said to hit him like that.
TJ's very good at math. There's the next two. Number 2. Everybody Gouda? Gouda for grapes? Okay, number 3. Those 4 are the answers. Yes, Brianna? Don't worry, what we do today will explain it to you. And of course, you can watch the video again later. Trust me, you'll be cool. Okay? What we do today will explain this stuff to you because it's the exact same stuff. Trust me. These are the answers that most of you will have, but because it's metric, of course, you could write anything, right? 260 centimeters, you could say, that's 26 decimeters, Mr. Myers. But you would never do that because we don't use decimeters in Canada. They do use them in Europe. Do they use them where are you from, Carlos? Brazil or Mexico? Do they use decimeters in Mexico? They actually use them? No? They do in Europe. They actually use decimeters. You could also say 2,600 millimeters. You could say 26,000 nanometers. Nah. But you wouldn't. Right? Because you're not a nerdy lame-o. 260,000 picometers.
That's my favorite number.
Okay. Turn the page over. There's the rest of that one. This one over here, I have 3 different numbers there because all of them would, of course, be acceptable. What would not be acceptable? Oh, you could also have 23.25. All of them are okay. This is the best answer. What would not be acceptable? Somebody always does this. 23 feet 3 inches, that's 23.3 feet. Is it?
Yeah.
No, why? Decimals work in 10. Feet and inches work on 12s. 0.3 is 3/10. It is not 3/12. For this one?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm surprised you would do that, but okay. 2,279 inches is probably right. 23 times 12 plus 3. Yeah, that's probably right. And then you would get 18 ribbons.
Yes.
You would not get your luggage on the plane.
Yeah.
They would make you pay extra. My friend once booked a flight on a cheap airline that did their luggage only by weight, not by size, and he was coming home from Ontario after going there to university. So he had all his winter clothes in his bag. So they wouldn't let him on the plane because he had no money. So you know what he did?
What?
Unpacked his bag and wore all his winter clothes.
Savage.
Like that episode of Friends where Joey puts on all of Chandler's clothes.
Except for the underwear.
Oh, he even put on the underwear. That was the point.
Well, I thought he did put on the underwear just to make him mad.
No, he put on the underwear to make him mad. When Joey did the underwear joke with Joey is when he would wear underwear in the rented tux because he wouldn't want to go commando in someone else's fatigues. And then, of course, the key to the wire question is both pieces of wire lose an inch, so you can't just add them together, because they overlap. So you lost an inch on the black and you lost an inch on the red. Gouda? Excellent. Let us carry on then, cabbages. Let us carry on, cabbages. No, you cannot be a carrot, even though you're good for good for people's eyes. Except for that ASDF joke. Did I do that one in this class? That's my favorite ASDF one. My buddy says carrots are good for the eyes. Thunk! Oh, that's what it is, yeah. You lied! Yes.
Everybody knew though. That's not true.
Hey, Aiden. Quiet before I start punching your salad.
What are they referring to?
ASDF. On your own time, go home and Google ASDF.
So just go like this across.
Yes.
Why is it?
They do silly little cartoons. Like this one guy's like, I like trains. And then he gets run over by a train. I know, it sounds stupid, but they're actually funny. Even I admit they're funny. And I usually make fun of every internet thing that you guys do. Okay. All right, let us move on. Now, listen up, please. On page 23, you will notice that there is a cool font. The cool font is called Thunderstrike. No, Max, or Sam, it's not Thunderstrike. It's Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike isn't cool. Thunderstrike is.
Thunderstrike makes it sound like that's the name you gave your cat that has.
So, before we go on, for the people that missed yesterday, here is what is happening. No matter what, anytime you need to convert between two values, you follow this rule. Aiden, I see your hand. If it's about ass stuff, we can't carry on.
No, it's about something about carrots.
No, we cannot. Wait till we're done math, and then we will talk about carrots. We'll talk about carrots when we're done math. This is how it works. Brianna, you're going to want to pay close attention right now, as is everybody else who was not here yesterday. This is how you convert. You have an amount. What is that amount? Any amount of anything. If I want to convert Mexican pesos to Canadian dollars, if I want to convert euros to pounds when I'm going from France to England, if I want to convert dinars to florins, you would still do, this is how it is done. You have the amount you wish to convert and you multiply by the following fraction. What you want over what you have. Always. We did this yesterday within systems, imperial to imperial, metric to metric. Now we're going to work between the two. All right? Because we took a whole day to learn this yesterday, today we don't need to spend a lot of time with it. At least from my point of view. You guys are going to practice it, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Let's look at this very first one. The bowling alley is 19 meters long. I need that measurement to the nearest foot. So, do I have an amount that I wish to convert? 19 meters. And I multiply it by the fraction. I want feet over meters. Now, where do I find the numbers to put into that? You will find it on your chart. Now, you guys don't need to flip back in your books. Why? Because I care so much. I made you a one-page cheat sheet that has everything from grade 10 in it. That's how much I care. You get a cheat sheet. You get a cheat sheet. It's raining cheat sheets. There we go. Woo! Woo! I know this could be a regular math class. I don't even know. Carlos are like El Gringo Loco. But that's okay.
Look at all these trees.
You're welcome. Nice. I was causing bad damage. Everybody got one? Okay, so on that sheet, do you see in your conversions feet to meters? Look carefully. You don't. What do you see? Feet to centimeters. But we're smart people. From yesterday, how many decimal places does it move to go from centimeters to meters?
100.3048.
It's 0.3048. So what numbers go on there? Sam? What numbers go there? Where does the 1 go? In the foot or in the meter section?
In the meter section.
Really?
In the foot.
1 foot is 0.3048 meters. So is that a divide or a multiply? That's a divide. Well, we knew from our chart, Tasha, that 1 foot equaled 30.48 centimeters. But we know that centimeters, to get to meters, we just moved the decimal 2 places. It's not that savage. It's just moving it. So it ends up being 19 divided by 0.3048. And what do you get for an answer? I'm sorry. 62 feet. Because the question only wanted the nearest foot. Picking up what I'm putting down? Read my mail, mow my lawn? All right, let's look at number 2. I have 62 miles, 98 kilometers, and I want to know who drove further. How many conversions must I do? 1, because once I convert one of them, I already know the other one, don't I, Jake? Yeah, see what I'm saying? If I convert miles to kilometers, can I compare it? If I convert kilometers to miles, can I compare it? Does it matter which one we do? No, because the question wants to know who drove further. Does it ask to change them both? No. So we can do either one. Which one should we do? You want to go kilometers to miles? Okay. So 98 km. And what do I want? Miles, so it goes on top. Kilometers goes on the bottom, and what numbers go in there? Look on your chart. 1 on the top and 1.609 on the bottom, where the km is. So it's 98 divided by 1.609. And what do we get? What is it? 68.8. So 58.8. Thank you. So who drove further? Hannah or Farron? Farron drove 58.8 miles because we converted the 98. So who drove further? Hannah. Everybody picking up what I'm putting down? I did the same thing was doing all day yesterday, Isha. I took the 98, the number I wanted, or I had, right? Because I had 98 kilometers, and I multiplied by what I wanted, miles, over what I had, kilometers. I got those numbers from my chart, and then 98, since the 1 was on the numerator, it's a division question. 98 divided by 1.609. Everybody cool? If you show your work and you have your chart, is it possible to do these questions wrong?
Just by messing up in general.
How? Just by being a human being.
Okay. Nino. Uh-huh. I said, uh-huh. What else would you take it as?
I mean, like, I was like, okay, you know what?
I was going to go through the long explanation of what I was reading about on that, but, you know.
That's a good way of asking. Why?
Note to self, cannot answer Nino with anything but yeses or nos. All right. Next question. How many ways could I do this? You could take, yeah, but I'm starting with two measurements, aren't I? Feet and inches.
Yeah, they both go into centimeters in the chart says they both go into centimeters.
Yep. So I could do two conversions, couldn't I, Aiden? Right? I could convert feet to centimeters right from the chart, and then inches to centimeters right from the chart, and what would I have to do with those answers? Add them. Now, as you just said, sometimes you make errors. The more steps you take, the more errors you have a chance to make, right? So can you apply some mental mathematics to this? You could put them together, because isn't 6 feet 2 inches 6 feet and 2/12 of the next foot? And can't you make 2/12 a decimal? How? Yeah, it would be 6 and 1/6. And then how do you make that a decimal? So you're going to get 6.1667, and it's going to go on forever. Now, can you convert that in one step? Yes, because we want centimeters, so we put centimeters over feet. Which numbers go where? Where does the 1 go? 1 centimeter equals 1 foot equals 30.48 centimeters. The 1's on the bottom, so what math do we do? Multiply. And what do we end up with? Not that big a number. Like 188 or something? So 188 centimeters. Now, this part right here, a great many of you will say to me, and have been saying to me for the years I've taught this course, I don't get that part. I needed to do feet to centimeters, and then I needed to do inches to centimeters, and I needed to add them together. Is that okay? Yes. This is a shortcut. Okay? Do I care if you do the math the way I do the math? No. Do I care that you show me you know how to convert? Yes. Everybody cool? Nick. Okay, that's going back a little bit. What math, there's only 4 kinds of math, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. What math is that line when I have something over something? Divide. So I did 1 divided by 6. And when you do that with a calculator, 1 divided by 6, 0.16666. Okay? Now, I already knew that 1/6 was 0.166 repeating, because I know all the decimals up to 1 as or all the fractions up to the ones that we use all the time, like 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, 1/6. I know them as decimals just from practice. Isha. Oh, okay. Is it? I trusted you guys. I didn't get out my calculator. I trusted that you could punch it into the calculator. Well, let's find out. 98 divided by 1.609. Indeed, it was 61. Still shorter than Hannah. So Hannah still drove further. No, it's not. It's divided by 1.609. That's why we show work. Regardless, the answer still works out to the same person driving less. Thank you for checking up on us. Fortunately, I have video that shows me not punching that in and just believing you guys. Yes, because I have the time to edit the videos to make myself look better. All right. Look at number 4. What conversions must I do? And again, I ask, how many conversions must I do? 1. If I convert the meters to feet, will I know? Yes. If I convert the feet to meters, will I know? Yes. Which one do you want to do? Because there's no right or wrong way to do this question. There is a right or wrong answer, but there's not a right or wrong method. Which one should we do? How do you decide? Which one is easier, Jake? You think meters to feet is easier? Why? Just out of curiosity, I'm just wondering.
Because then going to number 3, you did the fraction, which is inches. That means you have to do double.
This guy's already got a decimal here, doesn't he? It's much easier to work with, right? So let's do that. Jake says we should go meters to feet. So we got 3.5 meters. Then we're going to multiply by our fraction. We need feet, so it goes up top. Meters go on the bottom. 1 meter, right, is how many feet? Look on your chart. Is it there? Yep, 0.3048. Is it? No, just, those are the numbers that work together, but is that right? That's telling me 1 meter is bigger than a foot. Or 1 foot is bigger than a meter there. Have I got the numbers in the right spot? No. Where does the 1 go? Right. 1 foot is 0.3048 meters. Right? Now, since the number's on the bottom, is it divide or multiply? Divide, so it's 3.5 divided by 0.3048. Now, something weird's going to happen here. What are we going to get? And I'm going to do that on my own calculator because of what happened last time. No names mentioned. 11.48, right? So the bridge is 11.48. Or the truck is 11.48. The bridge is 11 foot 9 inches. Will it fit? Why? Because 11.48 is pretty close to 11.5 feet, yeah? And 11.5 feet is 11 feet and how many inches? 6 inches. Does 11 foot 6 fit under 11 foot 9? Yes. Right? And if you wonder about when this happens in real life, the next time you're driving home from Vancouver, just before you get to 232nd Street, there's a railway bridge over the highway. Look at it. Your folks will be driving, you look at the concrete and see how many giant chunks are missing from it. From idiots that drive under there when they're not supposed to. A couple of days ago, somebody taking a crane under the Golden Ears Bridge slammed into the bridge. When you guys were kids, actually before you guys were born, when I was a kid, the Knight Street Bridge in Vancouver, somebody took a crane under that, and they almost did the math right. They made it under the bridge, but they didn't bother reading that there's a giant water pipe under the bridge. And the crane hit the water pipe, fell into the river, and busted the water pipe. So it looked like the bridge was taking a pee. It was really funny.
But what happened to the Golden Ears Bridge?
Oh, I don't think it mattered. It was just a crane. Cranes actually aren't that heavy. It wasn't like. No. All right. Is everybody cool? It's the exact same thing, but you got to think a little more because of like this situation here, right? So let's check. Let's do a couple more, and then I'll let you go on your own because there's nothing new here. It's just practicing what we already know, but we're going metric to imperial. So miles to kilometers. I start with miles, and I multiply by what? I want km, so it goes on the top. Miles goes on the bottom. Now I go to my chart. I've got the chart right here. There is, where is it? Miles and kilometers. 1 with the mile, 1.609 with the kilometer. 1 with the mile, 1.609 with the kilometer. 1's on the bottom. Multiply or divide? Multiply. So it's 50 times 1.609. And what do we get? 80.45. km, of course. Now, let's look at 10 and think, how can we make 10 easier for ourselves? You could combine them both together.
12 times 12.
Yeah, you could turn this all into inches, right? Because you know that's 12 times 12, which is 144, plus 6 is 150. Is that okay? Excellent. 6 inches is kind of an important measurement, though, isn't it? What is 6 inches? Half a foot. So isn't that also 12.5 feet? Could you change it to a decimal? Does it matter which way you do it? Do I care which way you do it? Couldn't care less, because you're showing me you know how to convert. So whichever way you want to do this, I would go 12.5 feet, and I want meters. Meters over feet. Go to your chart. 1 foot is 0.3048 meters. So it's going to be a multiply again. Everybody good? Picking up what I'm putting down? I'm not going to get out my calculator. I'm going to trust you guys. Now there's a couple of tricks here. No, not all of you. Don't trust all of you. 14 meters, 28 centimeters. How are you going to write that? It's metric, so can we use decimals? So what would it be? 14.28. And then you would convert. It's not a trick question. I don't do trick questions. Here's the next thing I want to call your attention to. This number is going to give you a decimal. Do we normally use decimals in Imperial? No, not in Imperial. But for numbers as big as this, go ahead and use it. Okay? Because the point I'm trying to get across to you guys is just how to convert. Everybody cool? All right, so that covers most of that page. You're going to do 20, the rest of 23, all of 24. You're going to go up to 26. And if you look on your outline, you will notice I've also written on the board, you have your first quiz tomorrow. Okay? Will the quiz be at the beginning of the class?
No, hopefully not.
Of course not. Because we have to make sure we've done this right. Yes? Okay, so tomorrow, last 15 minutes of class will be quiz. Okay? What do we remember about quizzes? Are they anything to stress about? No. Why? They don't actually count for marks. You will use them. They will use them as practice. You will use them to study from. If you do crap on the quizzes, then you know what you need to fix for your tests, right? Nick? Yes, of course you are. Because, Nick, this is not memory class, this is math class, right? You shouldn't be penalized if you can't remember that 1 mile is 1.609 K, if you know how to use it. It's kind of like if I asked you, what is this tool? Exactly. If you asked to borrow this tool from me, you would say, I need that screwdriver that's like a plus sign. Phillips. Phillips 2. This is not a Phillips 1. It's not a Phillips 3. It's a Phillips 2. But if you grabbed it, put it in the screw, and turned it, do you know how to use a screwdriver? Excellent. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Right? That's what I care about. If you asked me for the plussy screwdriver that will... Do I care that you named it wrong? Right. So do I care that you don't have this memorized? No, as long as you can use it. Picking up what I'm putting down? Read my mail, mowing my lawn?
Yeah.
You're not going to do it this year?
I'm waiting.
Okay, you're just going to save it till when I'm not ready for it? Okay.
No.
No, you just wait, Sam. No, I did not. Because gummy bears are what?
Sugar.
No. Gummy bears are to be given, not asked for. I have gummy bears. I owe you gummy bears. I have names written down. I do indeed. They're right there. What are you? You going to break my kneecaps?
Yes.
Okay.
You're a little chicken. He plays rugby. He can lay you out.
I
That's illegal.
go. We're done.